mountain man, and he mined for mountain gold, and he wore a suit of golden clothes. It was a wonder to behold. Oh, and he sang out like a sunrise. Oh, as he walked along the road. Oh, and he came down to the valley, and the people gathered round him, and they told him that the land had all been sold for mountain gold. Henry James stood upon the earth, and he knelt down in the clay, and he shook his fist up to the sky, and he tore his clothes away. Oh, and he jumped into the river. Oh, as he washed away the clay. Oh, and he walked back to the mountains, and the people stood around him. They just gathered up his clothes and ran away. And Henry James stood on the mountain, and he filled the mines with dynamite. And Henry James raised up a fire, and he blew those dusty mountains out of sight. The ghost of Henry James still walks across this burning earth, and he whispers low to any man who truly seeks his worth. Oh, and he whispers of a fine land, oh, where a milky river flows, oh, where the mines are in the mountains, and every man and woman and every child there wears a suit of clothes of mountain gold.
We're having a lovely time on this tour, going around with Gerald and John. It's been great fun.
went to the house of pain, opened the door, walked right in, found my family and friends lying in rows on wooden beds, sleeping soft and slowly dead, covered in ice and snow. And the king of the underworld said to me, follow the road you chose, my son, follow the road you chose. I walked through forgotten halls, crumbling rooms and corridors, tabletops of dust and stains, and empty bottles of champagne, and hanging on in window frames the blackest of crystal glass. And the king of the underworld said to me, follow the road you chose, my son, follow the road you chose. I smashed the window with my hands, and lights poured in, and spring poured in, and roses grew between the cracks into the room that I stood in, and birds flew in, a million birds, a bright cacophony of birds. They lifted off the wooden roof, and light poured in. My family and my friends awoke from sleep and blinked once more. The trees walked in, the sun came in, the rivers clapped their hands again, and everybody talked and smiled and whispered sweet camomiles. And I was falling from the sky, and people were falling from the sky. I walked beside a sea of milk and knelt down by its side, and cupped my hands and drank my fill, and saw the houses all standing on stilts, and waves crashed over every brow, and lights poured in. And the king of the underworld said to me, follow the road you chose, my son, follow the road you chose. Just before I came away, I wrote 2 songs about a week before coming away. So I've been playing them on this tour, and it's been really exciting for me to do that. Having a new song is a really beautiful thing. for a songwriter. It sounds better if I do it without the amplifier, this one, so that's what I'm going to do.
So if we're all up for that, then this song is so new that I don't really even have a kind of name for it. So if anyone's got a good idea for what it should be called, please come up to me and I'll cut you in on the publishing or something.
Of a galaxy of black holes to eternity, crying for love. All the wounded stars fall down on their knees. Won't you set your broken-hearted prisoners free? Don't believe that you notice me, I do it all for you. You only hear what you want to hear. Why won't you listen? The sound is clear. I sing the symphony of the spheres. I do it all for you. Oh, I do it all for you. Millions of years go by, the Milky Way running dry, crying for love, crying for love. Every rising sun counts on your dying breath. No, the meek could not inherit the earth. Don't believe that you notice me, I do it all for you. You only hear what you want to hear. Why won't you listen? The sound is clear. I sing the symphonies of the spheres. I do it all for you. Oh, I do it all for you. Here comes my love. Here comes my Just as I have my suitcase, I have my suitcase to go away in the room, kind of, and I was trying to pack everything and remember what I needed to bring. And I'd left it to the last minute, which is a bit what I'm like for some reason. And so I was trying to get it all together, and then this song came knocking at my door, and it would not leave me alone. So, sitting on this kind of pile of junk that I was bringing along here, I wrote this song. It's called Waiting for the World. It's in a different tune. Yeah, Waiting for the World. I'm waiting for the world to come my way, to come my way. So if you leave me here, it will cause me no shame. The love that leads me on cares not to blame. You say that I'm walking the wrong way, but in spite of our dark days, I can see as my light comes shining through. 'Cause lovers hold the hands of the whole world and cry the tears of the whole world. 'Cause lovers lie in the arms of everyone. I'm lying in the arms of everyone. I'm standing on the edge, don't get me wrong, don't get me wrong. These lonely hours only make me strong. You say that I'm walking the wrong way, but in spite of our dark days, I can't see as my light comes shining through. 'Cause lovers hold the hands of the whole world and smile the smile of the whole world. 'Cause lovers lie in the arms of everyone. I'm reaching out my arms to everyone. I'm reaching out my arms to Love only knows what you know now. Love only knows what you know now. Love only knows what you know.
Thank you. One of the reasons that it's so good to be here actually is quite simply just because I'm still alive. Because everyone said that I was going to be dead by the time I was 30, and I'm not dead. And I'm 46 now. So it's really great. When I was younger, I was addicted to alcohol and drugs. And I had a really fucking terrible time actually because of those things that I thought were really cool when I first started taking them. They were actually. They were a fucking good laugh. But it landed me in a great deal of trouble. And when I was 29, I died basically because of that. But I came back to life. And luckily I'm not dead, I'm alive. And this song's about this, about rebirth. It's called Dead Man Singing.
Listen to a dead man singing. Listen to a dead man sing along. Every day the sunrise takes me high, shows me so much beauty, it makes me want to cry. Faces in the papers don't come free. The stories sold every place I go don't speak for me. Listen to a dead man singing. Every day the whole world breaks my heart. Every night the stars burn up above. I see love, I see the murder of love. I am a child of the poison tree, standing across the river, what is yet to be. Honey, that's the life I'm living. Every day the whole world breaks my heart. I see you working for the other side, makes me wonder how this river got so wide. When I see you driving out into the rain, yeah, it falls on me and I come alive again and again and again. Listen to a dead man singing. Every day the whole world breaks my heart. Oh, every day the whole world breaks my heart. The whole world breaks my heart. This is a song about a middle-aged man who leaves his wife and children for a younger woman he's fallen in love with. The name of that younger woman is Maria, and that is the name of this song, Maria. in a heat wave of the summer. I left my children and my wife, drove away. Night cloud was in the sky as the road signs passed me by, and I looked back in the mirror, saw the world that I once knew disappearing out of view as I rode on to meet Maria. Maria, my love is young with a beautiful face. I feel alive with the thrill of the chase. The day we met was a moment of grace. Maria, I stood waiting at the airport, a gift wrapped negligee for her to wear, searching through 1,000 faces for the one who was not there to fly away. Sitting on the plastic chairs, watching planes take to thin air, I saw our love affair was over, and I was just another man with foolish plans. I saw myself getting older and older. I drove around with the sun coming down. I hit the bars in the center of town. The pretty girls and the tears of a clown. Maria, Maria, I couldn't really understand what Heiko was saying when he gave the introduction to you about Gerald and myself, but I heard the name Strangelove mentioned, so I think Heiko probably told you that I was in a band in the 90s called Strangelove. I started off my life in music as a street busker. I knew 3 chords and my dad had taught me those chords. They were C, F and G7. I didn't like it at school, and as soon as I could get out, I did. I went to the street and I played on the street 3 chords for a few years, just singing whatever came into my head, and that is how I survived. After doing that, I was doing my busking one day, and a guy came past in a car who I kind of knew, and he said, "Get in this car, you're going to be a pop star." So I got in the car. It's a true story. And he drove me back to his mum and dad's house, where he had a 4-track recorder, and he said to me, "Sing your song into that microphone." And so I did. And then he got these other musicians that he knew around, and they put stuff over the top, and that was the band Strangelove. After 6 gigs, we got signed to EMI, which is a big record company in England. So I went from being a street busker to being a pop star in about the course of about 6 months. We went around in a big bus and played gigs all over the place. We supported a band called Radiohead, who you must have heard of because they went on to become massive. We supported a band called the Manic Street Preachers. We supported a band called Suede. We played on the main stage at Glastonbury. We got into the top 40 in Britain. And I saw my band on Top of the Pops, number 36, on the countdown that I used to watch when I was a little kid with my mum and dad at home. They had the top 40 countdown, and you watched it when you were about 6. And I saw myself on that. And it was like, hey, cool. But I got addicted, as I said, to drugs and alcohol, and the band fucked up because of that. After 10 years of that, it ended. And I went back to being nobody again. I'd been somebody in the sense that I was in newspapers, and I had a little bit of money, and a place to live, and a girlfriend. But when the band split up, all those things went. And I went back to being no one. And I'd wander around my town, and I'd bump into people that I knew. And when I saw them, I felt really ashamed that I was no longer somebody. And I couldn't look them in the eye anymore. I used to be able to look them in the eye when I was somebody, but now that I was nobody, I felt frightened. And I wanted to go back into that band, and I wanted to be back in the papers, and I wanted to have the attention again. But however hard I seemed to try, it didn't happen. So then I went and lived in a forest for 2 years. I told my friends I was going there because I needed to get in touch with nature. But the truth of the matter was, when I look back on it, I went there because I felt ashamed, because I wasn't anybody anymore. And I wandered around in this forest for 2 years. And it was a kind of beautiful time and a kind of tormented time as well, like it is in the fucking city. After 2 years of that, a man called Thomas Brooman came and found me. He was a man who really loved me, and he believed in me, and he loved my music. And he told me that. And he said that he wanted me to play at his festival that was called WOMAD Festival. It was a festival for world music artists. And I said I'd go and play there. And it was the first gig I played in about 3 years. I went and played at that festival in a very small room, in front of about 25 people. All my songs were about trees, and people weren't into what I was doing. And I didn't seem to be able to connect with the audience. And the gig that I'd done before that had been in London with Strangelove at Shepherd's Bush Empire, where there'd been thousands of people there, and lots of them had been shouting out my name. So I'd gone from up there to down here, and I thought to myself, why the fuck didn't I just stay in that forest? And I felt really down. I got to that period so many times in my life with this question like, what the fuck is going to happen to me? Going round and round and round. Anyway, I thought I've got to stop this because I'd already learned that there's nothing in that. There's nothing in asking yourself that question over and over again. You just have to get on with it and try and trust that something will happen. Anyway, I went wandering around this festival which was of world artists. I'd never been interested in that kind of music before because I liked rock and roll. I was into things like Jim Morrison, the Rolling Stones, and fucking people who died of drug overdoses, you know. That's what I liked. This was world of music. And anyway, I walked around and watched it. And I walked into a room, another room about this size, where a lady from South Africa was playing. She was 81 years of age, and her name was Madisini. And she was playing a one-stringed instrument, and the music she played had been taught to her by her grandmother. She played her songs, and I sat down in front of her, and I started crying. And I cried and cried all the way through the time she played, and I couldn't stop. And I didn't really know why it was at the time. But now I do know why it was. Because she had an authenticity of spirit that was undeniable, and a dignity about her that I myself did not have at that time in my life. She had played her music to sheep on the side of a hill till she was 79 years of age. And then she was discovered by these people in South Africa, and she'd be going around playing. She didn't know who Elvis was. She didn't know who the Beatles were. And she just played because that's what she did. She wasn't looking to be somebody or nobody. She just did it. And when she played, I could feel that. And I could feel the freedom of it. The freedom that she had and that I did not have. And I wanted it, I suppose. Or it made me feel like something had opened up to follow and try and aspire to. When I told my friend Thomas how much I enjoyed Madisini and how beautiful I thought she was, he said to me that I should go to South Africa and write songs with her. And he bought me a plane ticket, and he organised it for me to go there. And I lived with her in the black township of Langa in Cape Town, South Africa, in staggering poverty, the like of which I'd never experienced in any way whatsoever myself. That was totally shocking. But together we wrote our songs, and then we travelled around the world playing them in front of small audiences, and of maybe like 50, 20 people, stuff like this. And that changed my life. And that woman taught me that what matters is where you're coming from, really, in your expression, not how many people are looking about you or how many people buy your records. And she set me free. She set me free from the prison that I was in. And now, when I play, there is a special feeling in the room that I can feel. And I can feel that feeling now. And that came from her. And it comes from all of us being together tonight to share in the evening of music. And the feeling that I can feel now between us all is what I believe in today. Is what I believe in. And that's why I've come here tonight, to try and in some way help to create what I feel now between us all. Because I think it's beautiful, basically. And it keeps me alive, and it keeps me going. So I want to thank you for that, and for listening to my story. And I'd like to play you the song that I wrote after that time being with her. Because my music didn't change into African music. I still fucking love rock and roll, do you know what I mean? And I don't sound like her whatsoever. But the place where I'm coming from is the same place. I'd like to play a
you might have noticed sometimes, because she always used to play acoustic. She didn't like microphones because it wasn't the way she did it, you know?
For the sun rising in the sky, thank you for the earth on which I lie. Thank you for the clouds, thank you for the rain, thank you for the chance to start again. Do you still remember all the things that I've done wrong? I'm sorry that I hurt you, now you know I'm strong. Thank you for the birds singing in the trees. Thank you for the songs you sung for me. Thank you for the friends we made our mothers cry. Thank you for the pennies on my eyes. Do you still remember all the things that I've done wrong? No, they'll never hold me now to a world I don't belong. I'm rising up on my silver horse and I'm flying high. I'm crossing over through pearly gates and I'm out of time, out of time, I'm out of time. For the sun rising in the sky, thank you for a beautiful day to die. Thank you for the clouds, thank you for the rain, thank you for the silence in my brain. Thank you for the love that's lighting up my way. That's something that I always meant to say. I thank you for my life and everything you gave. Thank you for the flowers on my grave.
Thank you very much.
This is the last one I'm going to do tonight. When I listen to the young guys who are coming up behind me, like the young singer-songwriters, I always listen to what they got to do with a lot of interest and what they're saying about, the kind of things they're writing about, how the kind of troubadour tradition will always carry on in some form or other, I believe. But one thing I've noticed is that none of them have got songs about monkeys, and I fucking have got a song about monkeys actually, and I think that sets me apart from the rest of them in a way that you can't really put into words actually. So this is a song about monkeys, 3 little monkeys. They play in a rock band, and well, here you're going to hear about them now. So here we go.
I'd like to dedicate it to Martina.
Three little monkeys peach and manila, licking vanilla, staying nothing but just cool. We don't work, man, there ain't no working to do. We don't sweat, man, we do what we wanna do. Three little monkeys riding around in the sun, strumming on a guitar, dancing the cha-cha in an open-top sports car, having nothing but just fun. We don't work, man, there ain't no working to do. We don't sweat, man, we do whatever we wanna do. One little monkey, two little monkeys, three little monkeys, swinging in a rock and roll band. Alright, yeah. For being here. I've got albums and I'd be really happy to sell them to you, and just come up to me afterwards. They're over there. I've got 3 different types of albums and they're all really different, and if you're interested I can tell you all about that. They're all really good, I think. We can negotiate a price, because I'm not like a shop, I'm a fucking human being, you know? So we can talk about how much you've got to pay. I didn't write this song, and neither did Johnny Cash actually, although he's the person who's most known for it, because he recorded it in Folsom Prison in 1969. It's a song about cocaine, called Cocaine Blues. I've taken a lot of cocaine in my life, and I'm happy to say that it's a load of bollocks actually, from my experience. That's what this song kind of says, and that's why I like it. Early one morning while making the rounds, I took a shot of cocaine and I shot my woman down. I went right home and I went
44 beneath my bed. Got up next morning and I grabbed that gun. Took a shot of cocaine and away I run. I made a good run, but I run too slow. They overtook me down in Juarez, Mexico. Laid in the hot joints, taking the pills. Here comes the sheriff from the Jericho Hills. He says, Willie Lee, your name is not Jack Brown. You're the dirty hack who shot your woman down. Oh yes, my name is Willie Lee. If you got a warrant, then just read it to me. I shot her down because she made me sore. I thought I was her daddy, but she had 5 more. When I was arrested, I was dressed in black. They put me on a train and they took me back. I had no friend but to call my bail. They stuck my dried up carcass in that county jail. Early next morning, about 9:30, I spied the sheriff coming down the line. He huffed and he puffed, man, and he cleared his throat. He said, come on, you dirty hack, into that district court. Into the courtroom my trial began, where I was tried by 12 honest men. Just as the jury was starting out, I saw that little judge commence to look about. In about 5 minutes, and walked the man, holding the verdict in his right hand. The verdict read in the first degree. I hollered, Lordy, Lordy, have mercy on me. The judge, he smiled as he picks up his pen. 99 years in the wholesome pen. 99 years underneath the ground. I can't forget the day I shot that bad bitch down. Come on, all you guys, and listen up to me. Lay off that whiskey and let that cocaine be. Woo! Yeah! Actually, I'm not going to do that. Sorry, I'll sorry.
Okay. Just thought I'd do this one. This song, I wrote it about, I'd say about maybe 2 years ago. And oh God, I forgot. I got distracted then. Sorry. One of my best friends, actually, he's a very tormented man who I love very much. I've known him for many years. And over the years, we've kind of, as we've got older, we haven't had so much time to meet up and hang out with each other. But periodically, we will get together and have a cup of tea in a cafe or something and talk about where we're at, what friends do. But I've noticed over the years how the amount that I speak has got less and less, and the amount he speaks has got more and more and more. To the point now where, when I go to meet him, he basically just tells me about all his problems in detail, and then we go home. And I walk home feeling really drained, and almost like I'm covered in something, you know what I mean? Like I just feel And I say to myself, right, the next time I meet him, I'm going to fucking say something. I'm not going to let it happen. So I go along, we get our tea, we sit down, and he starts to tell me about his problems. I'm trying to think of a good place to interrupt, but it never comes because it's just like, and I never seem to be able to say something about it. And I've almost grown to, I still love him, but it's almost like I don't even want to go and meet him anymore because of that. So this song came out of that. I'd just been in a cafe with him, and I was coming out, and I just felt like, fucking hell, I've let him just talk the whole time again. What is fucking wrong with me, you know? Why am I so weak? And then I started walking home, and at that point, it was a couple of years ago, my relationship with my girlfriend was over, but we were still living in the same house. And there was a fucking bad vibe in that place. Every time I went back there, it was not good. I didn't have any money. I didn't know how I was going to record any of the songs that I'd written that I thought were beautiful. I had no way of going forward in life. I just got locked into that kind of swirling thoughts of negativity that has really haunted me all my life. And I could still just get trapped into it so easily. I was walking along the street feeling very, very, very sorry for myself, with my head down. And then I noticed something, I looked up, and it started to snow. And there were big, it doesn't snow in England that much anymore, and there were big white chunks of snow falling down onto the street. And I stood in the middle of the road, and I watched it for about 10 minutes. And it was freezing cold, and it started to settle. I watched as everything went white. And there's a kind of silence when snow is falling. I don't know if you know what I mean. Everything just goes quiet. And I started to be able to feel that silence. And the thoughts of myself started to drift away. And I thought, how beautiful this is to be on the earth, to have a body, to be alive. I know we've all experienced those moments, and they're really special. So I went into that, and I was freed from this kind of swirl of negativity. And in that moment, this song I'm going to play dropped into my head like whoosh, like that. And the whole song came in about half a gigasecond. All the lyrics, the melody, everything about it, I didn't have to think about it, it just went plop, you know? And I went home, and I worked out the chords on my guitar. And I'm able to play it to you today. And I'm very happy to do that, so here we go. I'm the luckiest man I know, as I walk through the streets of snow, and the shivering west winds blow. I'm the luckiest man I know, 'cause the sun's always shining not so far away. I won't listen to what the weathermen all say. I know I'm the luckiest man I know. Though the river is frozen in, and the city's all in a spin, people sliding from place to place, I won't run in no human race, 'cause my heart keeps on beating in its own sweet way. When I listen a little to the song that plays, I know I'm the luckiest man I know. Luckiest man I know. Luckiest man I know. Oh, oh, oh. snow